Ladies, gentlemen, and our NB folk, welcome back here to the lower division of the South American DPC as we continue with the series here between Wolf Team and the side of Gorillaz Pride. One game in favor of Gorillaz Pride right now, and their journey to Division 1 seems like it's gaining some steam and gaining some momentum. But for Wolf Team, the journey out might be, might also be getting paid for them as game one. It looked a lot better at the beginning, Kips, but it started to get a bit shaky and a bit rough once we hit that mid game.
It did, and I'm hoping to see them pick a lot more team fight this game, as I just said before the break, because in that way, at the very least, it's going to just be natural to play forward, play together, and keep on bringing that pressure. Because if you pick a Tidehunter, unfortunately, neither Tidehunter or Mars is available. They took those out themselves. But you are going to naturally want to bring people with you and say, all right, I got a Ravage, come to me. And people are going to be idiots if they play away from their own Tidehunter, you know? Whereas if it's Selena, it says, come to me. They're like, yeah, you need one person for your gank. What do you need me for?
Yeah.
So let's see if they can go a bit in that direction. So far, though, mostly the Invoker for the team fight and an Ogre Magi. I wonder if Duster is going to be picking that one up.
Does seem to be the case. You know, very classic position 5 hero. Run him into the bottom side of the map, or top side of the map in this case for them, and see what HFN wants. Basically ask him who needs the most steroid help. We'll give it to you. Here's the Ogre. And I think one of the things that they probably saw from game one as well was that Gorillaz Pride did a really good job using Genek to break a lot of the aggression from Wolf's team. And a lot of their spells were used onto the Tusk rather than any other target. And Ogre Magi also fits that kind of bill. Will allow Wolf's team to at least have this one hero who can tank up all the damage, give some space towards HFN and 4DR. Did feel like 4DR for a while was the one tanking the ganks, and that probably shouldn't be happening. But now the Ogre's going to do it, and presumably it's also going to be buffing up this Monkey King in the safe lane.
And that gives me the feeling that they're expecting this Kunkka to be an offlaner. I guess Gorillaz Pride, when you see this monkey come out, you just immediately move it to mid. You have that option. It does pretty well versus the Invoker. Not going to be a total wash, of course, but it'll be fine.
I'm wondering now for Gorillaz Pride, this Kunkka hero. I was talking to Estini about this yesterday when we were doing this the South American Dota as well. Where do you think Kunkka actually belongs right now? It's very versatile, but you know, usually when we see heroes this versatile, as time gets deeper into the patch, more and more teams start to solidify the idea of where it should be rather than just where it can play if it needs to be flexed. Where do you think Kunkka should be in like 7 out of 10 games these days?
Offlane? I do like a good utility mid, which is definitely where the Kunkka falls. But in the end, if you can squeeze this out of the offlane, like all of the team fight control that this hero brings to frontline tank, then if you can get away with it, you should totally do that.
Fully agreed.
Dawnbreaker.
Okay. It's a lot of tank right now for Gorillaz Pride. Centaur in the offlane, you get Dawnbreaker as well. You already had the Kunkka with Coco Rum. Like, this is beef on beef on beef on beef on beef. They're trying to get these long, drawn-out engagements. And at the same time, Wolf Team recognize that they're trying to go for long, drawn-out engagements, and they take the king of that kind of fight, picking up this Timbersaw right now on the 4th pick for Tavo. So in the previous game, he was playing this Beastmaster. Now he's going to be at the very forefront, you know, he's going to be the vanguard, saying, everybody come behind me, we'll be fine. Might not be a Tidehunter, but still definitely encourages a more team-oriented style of play. He can do quite a lot here, and it doesn't feel like they have that much burst on the side of G-Pride to fully deal with him outside of like Morty's kisses. So it's a relatively free Timber game, and that can be terrifying when we do see those kind of performances.
It's a super free Timber game right now. That's 4 strength. You don't see that very often.
Tavo's like, yes, please, click Timber, please, please, do it. King Ortiz like, fine.
Can't believe they did that to themselves.
Oof, but
I mean, they really had to pick that here in order to not get it banned in this last phase here. And interestingly enough, I think Gorillaz Pride is saying, all right, you're bluffing with that Monkey King, especially now that we have the center up here. I'm wondering, actually, if that is even as bad of a matchup. They're just saying you're bluffing, now that I think about it, because Monkey does really well versus Center as well.
Yeah, it definitely does, right? Because we've seen that matchup before a lot of times in the
Yeah,
past.
I'm saying it, and I'm like, oh wait. He just wrecks that as well. Why are they banning mid heroes
I
over on
mean,
Gorilla's Pride?
this could presumably also be the case that they run. I mean, people are running TA and Shadow Fiend in the safe lane nowadays. So potentially they are worried about the Ogre Magi buffing those heroes up in the safe lane. That could be
Yeah,
the idea here.
but there's already a Monkey King who's going to rock either the mid or the safe lane, Kunkka or Centaur, and there's also an Invoker on the board. Our way definitely has 3 cores here that are going to have decent lanes, unless they demote the Invoker. For support Invoker in 2021? Anyone?
I would love to see it. Let me not lie. It would be really entertaining. Whether or not it's going to be the case, remains to be seen. We'll see if they do decide that that's the direction to go for. I do think as well that for the rest of the draft right now for Wolf Team, that given how good so many of the matchups are, there sometimes can be complication in deciding what to pick last, right? It might be one of those things of too many options. The way it's sitting right now, it does seem like all they need is a 4 position, but maybe G-Pride are thinking that this could be the 4 Monkey King, and then they still have space for a TASF safe lane, but I'm fully in agreement with you that like the versatility of this Monkey King pick does mean that they would have been better off with different bans. And our way just have pretty much free 2 bans at the end. Take out the Troll, take out the Razor, no anti-carry available, no way to challenge the Monkey King as a core. And with these bans, it's very unlikely that they're going to shift them to support.
5 seconds remaining.
And now all they have left for themselves is, of course, their own carry pickup. You could think about a Terrorblade here. It doesn't feel the greatest versus the AoE of the Invoker and the Timbersaw, but at the same time, you have a very nice matchup versus the Monkey King. TP versus any melee feels good. Can stand in his ring moderately long, even.
Ursa, maybe?
I was thinking of... Sorry?
Ursa? Oh, it's banned. Never mind.
Bans. No, there's 8 carry bans right now, dude. This is why I'm kind of... And then going PA, ooh, this one could go either way. There's this window where the Monkey King doesn't actually have the HP to withstand you, and you burst him before he gets his Jingu stacks up, especially if he doesn't have an MKB yet. But the moment he gets the MKB and he tanks up a little, especially if the Ogre Magi here, for example, gets that Fire Shield is really good versus Phantom Assassin. 85% damage reduction on the first 3 hits. That's where she kills you normally.
Yep.
So you're going to get to the point that he's going to turn every single fight around on you. Late game Monkey King versus Phantom Assassin is actually pretty Monkey King favored. I do not enjoy this pick.
Yeah, I also generally tend to feel that whenever I see this PA absent having steroids or absent any kind of way to make sure that they get that big burst, you're really over-reliant on her getting crazy farm and very reliant on massive crits in the game. Like you mentioned, they have Fire Shield, Timbersaw. It's one of these wonky matchups as well in the lane. You don't really have a good time against them until you get yours level 6. And of course, you're super reliant on having to buy BKB, Gyro now for HFN. This feels...
I do take it back though. I guess you do ban out carry matchups here because this is a support Monkey King, well read by Gorillaz Pride. Props to you. I just think that it's not necessary. I think our way has a fantastic Monkey King game here, and they don't need King RD to play it all that necessarily. That is what surprises me.
It was such a good monkey game, right? As a carry, you're gonna eventually build MKB. You have a really great time in all of the lanes, no matter how you decide to go about it. You're always gonna be a BKB buyer, so that makes you very, very mobile in the middle of these fights. Completely disables Dismar Snapfire. But they have to, bow to the whims of the carry player. The carry wants to play Gyro, or, the team just is like Gyro is better. Does give them a little bit more team fights. Now they have the Wukong's command as well as the cooldown from Gyro. Some decent farm on the hero. And pre-BKB, we're talking about the matchup between Monkey King and PA as the game goes on. But initially, first off the bat, right, it's very difficult for Now's PA to challenge Gyrocopter. There's way too much magic damage at the earlier portion of the game. So maybe the idea is we just want to play earlier and hope that we can just outscale this PA at the beginning. We don't have to rely on taking the game later and later where Dota can get wonky and weird. But at the same time, the Monkey King was so good. But it is support. It is HFN.
Yeah.
Is this enough to help the draft get them victory?
I don't know. Like they're very much counting on the out farm now for Wolf Team. A PA can and will crit a gyrocopter down. Like it's risky for her, of course, when the flag shots are flying everywhere. And the gyro is a natural MKB buyer, but at the same time, it's quite late on in the build-up. There's going to be a couple of fights where this PA is going to see you as the primary target. And in fact, also because a lot of the other heroes on your team aren't that great of a jump for her anyway. She's not going to go for the Timber Saw. The Invoker has a lot of ways to stall her out or just go invisible. This gyro presents a great target to her. I am a bit flabbergasted by the end of this draft, honestly.
We'll see if HFN is going to be able to at least, show us in the game itself. Because it does sometimes happen that the players, once we see it, we're like, okay, we understand why you had this idea in mind. I also do feel like in this game, one of the issues that they're going to run into, they don't have as many damage problems as they did in game 1, but they have more problems with gyro carry than they would have had as Monkey King carry. That being said, I do really, really like the buff up potential on gyro. Alacrity on this hero is amazing. And at some point in the game, between that, Wukong's Command, Cataclysm, they'll have a lot of team fight damage from Wolf Team. But we'll see if it's going to be enough to get them this game to victory. As we now are in the game, Wolf Team, they need to do this. And can HFN Gyro make it happen? Let's find out together. Game 2 starts. Tips
Got
going
that
out.
immediate start here.
Yeah. Last time this got them the first blood kill, right? So see if they're going to be this lucky again. However, Wolf Team are ready and waiting. They're all prepared for this challenge. Smoke will get popped. Duster doesn't have vision on these heroes, but it is Duster. Fire Snap Cookie will chase forward, followed up by the Hoof Stop. They should have enough damage for this kill, and indeed they do. They make sure to get the body blocks, prevent any escape, and yet again, giving a first blood to Now on this PA. He made very great use of this in the last fight, in the last game rather, thanks to the Slink's performance, and now we'll see if the bonus gold on the PA will also make sure that they get this victory for G-Pride.
Same start. Is it a sign? I hope not. I'd like to see Wolf Team put up a proper fight this game.
We would love to see it. I mean, game 3 is always more entertaining, and Wolf Team, with expectations this high, and with the players this good on the roster, you definitely want to see them attain some early victories, as they might find a kill onto Dismar. HFN chasing him down at the gyrocopter. A couple of more hits. One more gets him. Right in front of the tower. Thought he had the protection of the bonus armor. Not going to be enough. And HFN, it might not be first blood, but it is something, and a great way to start what could turn into quite an aggressive lane in this top lane. There is kill threat and potential here from them, especially if they're starting off by having this Monkey King positioned in the trees, literally chilling with the mischief, ready and waiting to go for a kill from behind.
Are coming forward here. This is going to be so much. A nice stomp though. I don't think it's going to be enough to save the Snapfire.
Yep. Fire Snap Quickie doesn't connect onto King RD, so he's easily able to throw out that Bounter Strike. HFN picking up the kill there. 2 for 0 early on for him. And they're keeping King RD around. Boundless Strike going to be on cooldown for a very long time though, so they don't have the easy way to stop Kara in his tracks. However, they're putting out this pressure, and they don't mind doing this, right? Because on the other side of the map, they have a Timbersaw playing into Dawnbreaker PA. It's, not the kind of lane that Timbersaw thinks I'm going to lose out in these first 2 levels. Now the help comes back. King RD ready to ensure that Tavo has a good start to the game as well.
I mean, this PA is already level 2 though. They have lost some valuable opportunities here. Look at the amount of damage that level 1 Dawnbreaker deals.
It's quite a bit, chasing back onto King RD. Will they be having enough to kill this monkey? Mischief dodge attempt.
Yes.
Won't be enough, so they are able to run him down. This is fantastic. You love to see it when the team immediately identifies that, wait a second, we have this level 2 advantage on this PA. We have a lot of damage on the level 1 Dawnbreaker. Let's utilize that. And not only do they get the kill, but that was right after the TP in. So now Tavo has no help.
Genic as well?
He's getting chased down by Genic. Will he die? Timber Chain away, saves him for a moment, but not forever. Now, able to chase him down. Okay, so HFN thought he's hot stuff with 2 early kills. Now we'll one-up him with 3. And killing spree in the first 2 minutes of the game on a Phantom Assassin. Good times, good times.
Good times. And she's level 3. Tavo is level 1.
Oh, God.
They're just going to kick him out again.
Oof. Okay. All right, I take it back. I
What
take
a
it back. They
disaster.
very much mind how things are gonna go down bottom. This is a horrible place to be
No,
in.
you were saying, oh, they're going for another kill on top, and I'm like, oh no, oh no. Don't do that.
Oh,
Look at this
gosh.
punishment.
Well, you wanted to see a better game here from the side of Wolf Pride. Of Wolf Team. It's not gonna be coming from bottom because G Pride are just on it. They're on it. They get the kill. Zenek just goes in for the straight up deny as well to the tier 2 tower. And top lane, without this Monkey King being around, they can't really put that same aggression back onto Kara. Although they find the Fire Blast, trying to chase him down now. Not enough right click damage to find this kill. So they can't even say, well, it's okay since HFN will get the same pressure out onto Kara that now is putting out onto Tavo down bottom, because that's just simply not going to happen.
The Timber got up to level 3. He's got 2 levels of reactive armor now. This does very much change the lane for him, even if he's still going to suffer a lot. Look at the damage that he's taking. But it's the price they're paying for getting this Monkey King back to the top lane. Sneaking a rune in here as well. Taking that one away from Tao.
Okay.
And they're keeping Kara down pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh no, the courier.
They're gonna get a courier and a kill potentially as King RD comes in with the Primal Spring. Not able to clean up the kill though. Just gonna be the courier getting taken away. And it does seem like they're just gonna leave Tavo. They're like, you know what, man? Sorry. Rough times for you at the beginning, but it's gonna stay this way. We're gonna be helping out elsewhere on the map, keeping pressure on top onto Kara. Potentially making a rotation middle as well at some point, given that we do have access to this Invoker, but 40R is not really in a position just yet to be able to do anything by himself. Does have the full Earner Shadows at the ready, so would love to get a rotation with the Bounder Strike that maybe sets up onto a kill onto Tao, but this is a Kunkka, not an easy customer by any stretch of
Tavo's in
imagination.
trouble.
Tavo's in trouble. I feel like that's just the mantra of this game because he's getting chased once more. Selly Hammer drags Zenek forward. Timber Chain at the last second. Tavo will survive, but chased again back underneath the tier 1 tower.
At the very least, he's taking the attention of 2 heroes right now without dying, which means for a win on the top lane. But they're having so much trouble finishing off the kill on this top lane because Dismar's actually... Oh, he gets the TP cancel. They've caught themselves a monkey.
King RD not going to be able to escape this area either. Kara doesn't get close enough for a Bounder Strike. Doesn't seem like they'll be able to find the kill, but where was he going? Was he going bottom?
I think he was going bottom, yes. And Dismar here on top, all he has to do is hold on to the little shredder for until HFN throws out the homing missile. He's got that value point, but every time he sets that missile up, you're just going to get a snapfire, killing it immediately, unless of course the trajectory is that short.
But even if it is here, Kips, Disma also has the Fire Snap cookie, so he can bail Kara out of trouble. So time and time again, despite the fact that they forced Kara to have a dismal CS record at this point, they haven't necessarily been able to close in for a kill. But now he might be surrounded. Does the... Ooh. Gets out juked here. Kara has been playing very, very well with the movement. Gonna heal up quite a bit thanks to this Ring of Health. And everything should be fine here for him in this top side of the map. Even though he doesn't have much help from Disma, because Disma's doing the right thing, stacking up these jungle, making sure that when the PA does pick up her Battle Fury, she'll have a place to take her time and get a lot of farm for herself in a short span of period of time as well.
And I wonder if this PA is going to go Battle Fury.
No.
Actually, we've seen a lot, including a Matumba Man game, which was played just before this one. Very enjoyable. I always like seeing Matu crit people. So there's a possible different build up here as well, but nonetheless the PA with her blur always able to take these stacks regardless.
Yeah. Tao has the first rotation of the game and trying to get onto Duster here, should be able to cancel the TP out. The haste rune does go towards positive. Oh no!
What a tragedy. And now there is so many people on bot here and he's juking most of them, but he can't do that forever.
No, he cannot. He's gonna try though. Magic Wand comes out and they've already killed King RD. And 40R getting ran down by Zenek now, getting himself away from Tavo. Tavo missed with the Timber Chain and they get the dust out. They need to be careful about losing 40R and they end up losing the Invoker to the Dawnbreaker, who gets a double kill from this rotation. Yeah, you got the now PA, but at what cost, Kips? At what cost?
The cost of your dignity. That's a level 7 invoker dying to a level 4 support who almost cracks level 6 off of it. That is amazing.
She's definitely not level 4 anymore. Having a great time now thanks to that kill. Absolutely wonderful. And Tavo, at the very least, won't get muscled out anymore by Genek. In fact, gonna try to do the muscling back himself. Not enough damage. Can't do anything here. But that's level 6 now on Genek. Hey, I mean, thanks now. Hashtag space created, says the PA.
Those jukes though from now, that was some fancy footwork if I've ever seen it. I am greatly enjoying this guy's play so far.
Now's been on it, and Now's also doing what you were talking about, not really going for this Battle Fury build, opting instead for this Maelstrom, has Orb of Corrosion. If you go for this build, do you still require Desolator as well? Because, you know, the build up with Battle Fury is often with Deso, so even if you skip that, you still need the Deso for that individual damage?
Yeah, the Deso is usually still part of the build-up. You can fight before it and go a BKB just with your Orb of Corrosion. It is nice minus armor already, especially if you also have a Snapfire on your team with a little Shredder. It is possible to fight earlier if it is necessary, but of course you'd rather not do that.
Top tower getting sieged upon right now as 40R shows up with King RD already in the trees. EMP with the burn, Bounder Strike after those Primal Spring brings Genek very, very low. And can they kill him before the Solar Guardian? I mean, they kill him during it, it's fine. So the spell's been used, that was kind of hilarious. Like, moved one screen, came back from the heavens into the grave.
That was, I don't know if you've ever played Morrowind, but there's right at the start of the game, there's a guy who falls out of the sky to his death in front of you. I had to think of that. Just minus the terrifying scream.
You know, there's a throwback to the days when Bethesda made good Elder Scrolls games.
Hell yeah.
You know, instead of just making Skyrim one environment, copy pasted, call it Game of the Year. Top lane.
Skyrim was quite innovative for its time, but its time was 10 years ago.
Top lane. What do you make of this push here with King RD just sitting around sapping experience? They're doing this, but they are losing out on pressure in this mid lane. They find King RD though. I won't be able to get the kill thanks to Genek. But it feels like the trade is one that Wolf Team is happy to make if they can get this tier 1 tower middle. For now, it does seem that they should be able to find it. Was that a TP cancelled by themselves, or did they use Bounder Strike? All right, King RD used Bounder Strike to ensure that they couldn't come back middle. And they get this big trade. So Wolf Team will gladly allow this to happen on the map.
That feels really good, especially because the entrance into the enemy triangle area for the Radiant, so getting to the Iron Triangle, is going to take them so long to smoke into there, and that is where HFN is going to live and thrive. He's got himself the Falcon Blade build up actually right now. Interesting. Right now you always see the Dragonlance into a disassemble for the Aghanims, but going a bit of a different route.
They're definitely still gonna go for the Sags. How far is he? Just needs a point booster. Well, actually needs more than that. Seems like he's still en route, about halfway through. Just wants the point booster first before he gets the rest of the components. But yeah, a little bit peculiar to see this build, especially with how good the D-Lance is right now. You can get the multi-disassemble into both Ags and BKB. As we now see them try to go onto Tavo, but it's Tavo. You know, the days of the laning phase are over, gang. We're not just gonna bully me anymore. I am now a level 9 Simbasaur. I've got Hood of Defiance. I've got Raindrops charges.
Yep.
I've got Soul Ring. Just try it and see what happens.
This is still an insane Timbersaw game. As much as I was confused by the core matchup, it might very well be that Wolf Team just said, like, yeah, you know what, Tao is a monster. We don't care what else happens here.
And we see him reveal his monster side onto Tao, who's being surrounded by 3 heroes here. 40R though getting jumped on by Now and Genek, and they take out this Invoker. Tao kept alive by the Fire Snap Cookie, and Tavo losing his life here as he has to watch Duster die in front of him, trying to get himself away, get X back by Tao though. The
HFN
damage
is here?
has been flying in from Tao, but here comes HFN. The Gyrocopter finally involved in the fight, brings down Tao first and foremost. Homing missile catches out onto Now. This PA is kept in position as HFN goes onto the high ground to look for Genek. King RD will die, but they get the big prize of Now. Sheared down by Tavo, cleaned up by HFN. Both PA and Kunkka cannot stand the threat of these double cores. And 40R, you know, might have been the one to die early on in the fight, but they didn't even need him for the rest of Wolf Team. HFN just too strong at this stage of the game.
Yep, especially when they don't jump in first. He can just walk in later and start flacking. Yeah, that's the spirit. That's what he'd like to play. And right now, really what we're waiting on is for Kara to get any kind of contribution to the game. He's got himself a Vanguard. He's got the opportunity to finally stay alive, but he is miles away from a Blink Dagger. And without that, there's precious few engagement tools for G-Pride. And they're just constantly faced with Tavo. Look, what are you going to do? This man's up in your face. You can't go past him.
And they
Not
tried
yet.
the last time to get past him, but just held his ground. And that's sort of a harbinger of things to come, with how much time it takes to bring him down, how easy it is for HFN to just swoop in and dish out critical amounts of damage. He's about to pick up the Aghanim Scepter as well. Got a lot out of that last fight. And look at the gap relative to where Now is right now. Now is about to finish the Maelstrom. Is flying in off the courier. So he has his first farming item, but when you're this far behind the gyro already, before both of you get your farming items and they're going to arrive at the same time, you don't really feel good about your prospects, especially when you have the inferior farming item in this Maelstrom, at least for now, until you get the +1. Not feeling super positive on the map. Especially with how Tavo can just dive your supports and say, well, I think I'm killing them. Oh, nice dodge on all of these spells. Disma, okay. Apparently this little Mortimer has some dancing shoes on as well, able to escape away from Tavo.
Yes, little lizard can dance, but man, their triangle has been taken over. Now has nowhere to farm. I haven't seen Kunkka have any impact yet either. He's got this armlet, he's got the ability to do some damage here, but every time, wherever they go, it's Tavo, it's bloody Tavo.
Bloody Tavo indeed, as Kara tries to trigger Stampede to stay alive. Morty's Kisses buying him some space and time, but Tavo says time is up, gets the kill with the Timber Chain through. They're trying to get some damage back onto him, but even after tanking, an Orb of Corrosion hit, the full Little Shredder, still feeling very, very tanky on the Timbersaw. And sadly, that was G-Pride yet again getting forced back into a sticky and prickly situation as Wolf Team. They didn't even need to bring in HFN on that one. He's pushing in this bottom lane. Slowly but surely, they're closing in on the tier 2 tower. They've completely taken over this bottom side of the map, and soon they're going to take over not just the jungle, but the outpost as well if they take the tower.
Ben is having the time of his life. This is exactly the kind of game you need versus the PA. It's like, sure, she's supposed to have a window where she can kill me, but it's never gonna happen because I have too many items and I'm gonna be too tanky.
King RD, they thought that they were going to be able to get a quick pick off onto Kara. They don't get that. Instead, they get Disma with this tornado. King RD getting chased away. Will finally die, and Kara still alive. Setting up a Tao to bring down Duster as well, as Tavo gets taken into the fight and able to take Now out as well. Genex chased away. Oh my goodness, whirling death with the Chakram. So much damage from Tavo, and despite Now coming secondly into that fight, after everybody has already ported in, after he feels like, all right, this should be a safe time to get involved, it's not a safe time to get involved. And Kara, the first man in, is the last man out, gets taken out by Tavo. It's a triple kill for the Timbersaw.
Yep. This centaur is completely ignorable. He doesn't deal any damage. He doesn't present enough of a threat that you need to stun or take him down, so they just run past him. And yeah, he teleported into that, so he decides to clear the wave and then die. He knows his fate is sealed.
So now what's the plan if you're in this G-Pride position? You know that you can't actually fight right now. They're way too strong on the side of Wolf Team. HFN has Aghanim Scepter. This Monkey King even is about to crack level 10. You know, this Invoker for 40R has the full Spirit Vessel, about to close in on the Midas. Tavo is just being Tavo. And what is the next item for Tavo after this Yules? We'll see once he makes that decision. But if you're G-Pride, you're this far behind. Like you said, your Kunkka isn't really having an impact on the game. He's building BKB, but that's not going to increase that impact just yet. Now is very far behind on farm, and you don't have a triangle to access to easily get that back for yourself. What do you do? How do you come back as G-Pride?
You shove waves and hope that they give you an opening, but with how insistent Tavo has been playing in the middle lane, it's very hard to work around him. Losing that middle tower was disastrous because it opened up this space where in a relatively short amount of time, Tavo can go from one side of the map to the other and close off every single lane you have out of well, your tier 2s really. So they're going on the backline. They got the gyrocopter.
They found HFN. There's no BKB on this gyro. He's gonna end up losing his life to Morty's kisses. Disma ends the dominating streak, and now trying to take down 40R. Kara doesn't have a stun just yet. Blink up in 1 second. Won't have a stun because Tavo looking for a kill back onto him. He's on the high ground. Jules is up. This Centaur will be able to get the kill onto him. Now looking for more in the fight. Chasing down Disma. King RD. Oh, gets snapped down from the tree. Won't be able to throw out the counter strike. And he also manages to get the kill onto Duster first. Disma will die, but it'll make them work for it. 3 for 2 for now, but HFN, the big prize, gets taken away, and G Pride finally managed to take a fight where they keep now alive throughout it, as the PA gets a ton of gold out of that, and so does the Kunkka. We also finally get to see some degree of effectiveness come in from Tau in that fight.
Yep, and these BKBs that they're building are not necessarily going to help them deal with the gyrocopter's damage, but they are going to make Tabo ignorable for a window, as well as all of this AoE control coming out of the Invoker. Of course, it is going to be late. HFN is big. HFN deals a lot of damage, but as you can see, he is not actually that tanky yet. If they can throw a couple of heroes at him, they just need the space to do so. And, you know, no Tavo in their faces.
So the game plan is always find Gyrocopter completely by himself, throw all the spells onto him before Tavo even shows up.
Yep.
Easy, easy, easy.
Well, they have a Blink Dagger now. Kara has managed to scrape together the funds. That's what allowed them to get that previous fight. And now they're looking again.
Fine, Duster should be a freebie on this one. And they do claim, oh, he's still alive. Actually, they get the turnaround instead. HFN jumps onto Kara. Genex also gonna die here. 40R showing up to the fray. Disma won't be allowed to TP out either. Yule Scepter getting the interruption. Completely stuck inside the trees. And this is just gonna be a slow, painful death for the Snapfire. I mean, we've seen some really good dancing before from the Lizard, but nobody dances that well. 3 heroes dead. That was a G Pride aggressive movement. And they really thought they had it, but Duster took a little bit too long to kill. HFN was right there. And they get no disable out onto this gyro. So now they're in this Roshan pit. Double damage rune at the ready. First Aegis of the game. Looking like it's going to be free pickings here for the side of Wolf Team.
Yep, they're going to be able to mop this one up. Between the Alacrity and the Bloodlust, really, HFN doesn't even need a damage item right now. So he's going to be finishing up the BKB. After that, we won't see any scenarios happening like this on the Radiant Triangle anymore. They simply do not have the damage to kill him.
Yep, just too strong right now. I love that as well that he decided, despite having a Quicksilver amulet in the backpack, he says like, you know what, Possess Mask seems pretty good. I need some lifesteal. Don't want to bullet myself just yet, so might as well get it for free. But we'll eventually pick up the Van Brace. It's a bit too good. Can't avoid it on these Agi carries. I'm really sad about now here. BKB build up is taking a little bit longer. Will be available before they begin the high ground siege in earnest for the side of Wolf Team, but at the same time, it's so far away from this PA being able to challenge this Gyrocopter. He now has his BKB. He's level 16. They're about to take the tier 2 in the top lane. And it's not like he's the only big threat, right? Tambo is still getting so huge in this game. After they get the Sanj and Kaya on this Timbersaw, they're already having difficulty controlling him up in the fight. What on earth do they do afterwards?
Honestly, not much. There is going to be a BKB PA for this high ground defense. He only just now got it, but that means no buyback.
At the very least, they get the clear out on the trees, so they have vision on King RD. So no free vision here for the side of Wolf Team, but they don't really need it. They're just sieging this high ground by plopping themselves with HFN, Alacrity out onto the Gyrocopter. Tier 3 tower is down. Can they get the full lane of racks? They're smoking out. Kara trying to find somebody, but King RD gives them vision. And Kara gets scouted now. Will be able to dodge the tornado, but gets off the stampede. Coming up onto the high ground to stay alive. There's going to be the big burst of damage, though. Fire blast into right legs. He's gone. Taubo in front of Tau, and now, though, BKB activated by this PA. They're able to zone Taubo back for the time being. However, HFN has achieved the objective. With the Alacrity buff up, he takes the melee racks. King RD getting himself down from the tree as well. And they lose nothing really of value here for Wolf Team. Kara dies. Taubo doesn't. They get the racks. Everything's just all gravy for the Wolf Team lineup from this.
And this is their draft just really coming into their own right. It's Taubo all the way. They can't focus. They can't. It's sort of what the game has been in a nutshell, that high ground fights. Like, they can't focus on HFN even though he's vulnerable, because he has an Aegis and there's a bloody big timber saw in the way. They're gonna get this Dawnbreaker as well. I do think that Janek has been playing an absolutely fantastic game, by the way.
Yeah, Janek has had yet another good game, I think. Despite the fact that they are in a very poor position right now for G Pride. Did a lot for his team, especially in the laning phase. That's 2 games in a row that we've seen Janek to go above and beyond the Call of Duty to try and enable his team as much as humanly possible. Sadly, you know, he can't do everything. Still need other heroes to be effective. We still need a BKB from Tao. He's about to pick it up right now. I think after this wave, it should be enough gold. Sadly, though, this Kunkka, we are at the stage where through all these BKBs, now with Sanj and Kaya as well, you know, we don't necessarily have that much influence from Torrents, from Boat. Would love to have damage instead, but we just don't. Tao is not really able to help out. In game 1 was a really huge damage provider with the Invoker, but here in game 2, feeling very lax in these fights and feeling like it's all coming down to whether or not now can find the crucial target, and Morty's kisses are raining down on that target as well.
And the PA is actually saving up for an Aghanim shard here. This is going to enable them to finally kill Tavo, maybe, but at this point it's pretty late. They have an HFN problem now as well.
Yep. Wolf's team are gonna utilize this HFN Gyro. With 1 more minute of Aegis, they're gonna try and get a second lane of racks for themselves. They're putting out some spells on HFN, trying to force the BKB charge or the Aegis, and they'll force out the Aegis. Does come at the cost of Kara's life, however. And they're strong enough, using Wukong's command as cover, to still stick around, go for this melee racks. HFN still has the BKB to go, and woo! Tavo is just, wow! There used to be a Dawnbreaker here one day, but that day is over. Jump in, here we go. Aghanim shot is out. The Fan of Knives from now gonna be good enough for them to kill Tavo at long last. HFN activates BKB. Will he be able to TP out? Should be completely fine, as they've taken the racks. However, 40R and Duster, they don't have that same luxury. They've lost the Ogre. 40R dragged back into the Fan of Knives. Now gets a double kill off of this. So they get a good fight. This is good proof of concept from G Pride. However, proof of concept comes a little bit too late to save the lane of racks down bottom. So now you have to deal with 2 sides of the map having super creeps.
And now is queuing up the only item that can really save them here. He needs damage, he needs it now. If he doesn't get it, he loses the game anyway. So we are working on the rapier.
Divine.
I respect that.
Is this a Divine Rapier or a Divine Rapier for this game?
Divine, that was a jump and a half. What a risk.
Now answer that question for us. Going Divine this game 100%.
He doesn't even have a BKB, man. If there's anybody coming out of that triangle, like the area that he can't see, then he's just dead as a doornail. Pretty sure this Invoker isn't there. No tornadoes coming.
I'm very confident. Tao finally has BKB in front of the Invoker and the HFN Gyro, able to TP out to safety. Gyrocopter is building into MKB to try and round out this game, aware that the only real challenge to his supremacy is going to be this PA, and trying to remove that challenge to himself. As they yet again go to clean up Janek. They commit the Stampede for this. Don't know why we do that. There's a lot of damage from Wolf Team, and they end up now losing both Janek and Stampede. Maybe Wolf Team don't have the appetite to try and go for a high ground siege, but they probably do, knowing that there is very low likelihood of this BKB, or this buyback rather, being available for the Dawnbreaker at this point.
Backed out of the rapier. He realizes he doesn't have enough time, but maybe he can get to a Desolator.
Let's see. Deso, enough gold to buy it right now, practically, if you sell the magic wand, and that's what we're gonna see happen. Deso is up. You need it for this last potential defense. They send out the boat. They're trying to kill HFN. They're really going for this. Fan of Knives is out. HFN gets a BKB, but it's not gonna be enough now. Threading down this Gyrocopter, now trying to come back into the Tabo. Timbersaw, who's looking for the kill onto Kunkka. Got off the BKB at the last second. Suddenly, Tabo's in danger. Tabo's gonna die. 2 heroes brought down by Wolf Team, having to retreat and getting a bit too far forward. Despite having the additional numbers, despite having the BKB on Gyro, they just cannot stand against the Fan of Knives of now, and this game is still going here, Kips. G Pride defend. for the first time.
The matchup, dude. This can always still happen. And I love how now every single time I said, all right, I have time until like approximately 30 more seconds before they come at my base. What can I buy with my gold right now that maybe will win us the fight? And he's pulled it off twice now.
My gosh.
By the skin of their teeth. And now he's queued up the rapier again. I knew you were a baller.
Now, doing the right
Godspeed.
thing. Let's see if they get lucky enough to get a quick Roche respawn. Nope, not that lucky. But they don't need luck. Now it's just all skill at this point. And that fight is not just a big deal for how much gold they got out of it. The experience buff that now got from it, we're getting closer towards having the level 20. And this level 20 is no joke in either direction, right? Either you get the additional evasion, which of course there's going to be an MKB soon from HFN. No one else has that, but what I'm really scared of is even more armor corruption, even more possibility of quickly bursting this gyrocopter down. Gyro, you never want to build armor items directly on this hero. And you don't even have that many IG items just yet either. If you're going MKB, it means you're not going Butterfly, and you're not going Skadi. The only stat item you have is this Aghanim Scepter. It's just simply not going to be enough once you get broken by the Fan of Knives.
They've smoked up. Oh, Pierre walked right into them.
Now has BKB. He's fine. He's fine.
That's the worst possible scenario for Wolf Team actually, because that blurred PA can't see who broke your smoke.
Yep. She is sitting with the Titan Sliver. Let's see what cool neutral items we have available. Mindbreaker for the Kunkka. Gyrocopter sitting with an Elven Tunic. Got a Cloak of Flames now on this Timbersaw. I like that they've got this Blast Drake on this Monkey King. It can be quite useful. Just trigger it out of nowhere when the team's not expecting it. You have this high ground vision. And King RD's done a really good job of providing that for them, playing this position for Monkey King. Not a lot of damage has come out of him, even despite having this Maelstrom, but when you pick this hero +4, you're not picking it for the damage, you're picking it for the effectiveness of map control, and he's definitely given them quite a lot of that. Broken several smokes as well from the side of G-Pride.
They're grouped up here to see if they can... Would they go for HFN? Oh, they're thinking about it.
Ooh. It's really scary times. HFN, the weird part is they
The Roshan
will
has
have the
respawned.
damage. Roche is up.
Oh no, they were waiting for him. They had a second to do it. There's just not quite enough reach on Takara. And now they're gonna miss out on their chance to fight this Roshan. That's a shame.
Yeah, that definitely feels like unless they get the jump far away from the pit, that if you're G-Pride, you don't actually want to run headlong into it. So the window's closed. Now there's an Aegis up on this gyrocopter. Who did they give the rest of the goodies to? That was Roche number 2, right? So who got the shard here? They gave it to the Ogre. So the Fire Shield is up. You were already mentioning this in the draft, the effectiveness of the spell against PA. And we've already seen how effective she's been in the fight. So having any kind of percent-based reduction gonna make such a massive difference to the survivability of HFN.
He's gonna be
though,
working around with that permanently on. Yeah.
as we see Tavo, just the opening up space to make sure that he can't run down Disma on the high ground. Question, right? So Fire Shield, when it gets applied onto you, right, it is a young buff up. It is dispellable. Does Fan of Knives dispel Fire Shield?
No, it's not a dispel. It's purely a break. Only passives that are generated by the hero itself, and specifically more like that, passives that are already in the bar at the start of the game will get disabled. Pretty much anything that you buy or in any other way acquire does not actually get this, you nearly got me there. Removed by break.
HFN has Fire Shield ready to go, coming up onto this high ground with the Aegis protection as well as the offense of this MKB. And they're looking to end the game. They're looking to get themselves into game 3. Wolf Team, 1 more racks to go before they pick up these megas. No tier 3 to defend. Melee racks is going to be the big target, but they'll just pick up the range for now, just as an appetizer. Wet their tongues with this aggressive posture. And this is the last hold for G-Pride. They do not have an option. No, the cliff comes a second too late. Somebody needs to get tipped for that one. Your Wolf team.
Unfortunately. Now he's waiting. He just wants that shield to be gone, and now Kara, he's already nearly dead.
He's already lost his life. He's still alive in the back of the fight. At the very least, they do take out King RD, but Dismar will die for this, buys back instantly. And they get the drag back onto HFN. HFN loses his first life. He already popped BKB as well. Do they have enough for the second, though? The jump on. Kara gets there. Now is in as well, but doesn't have the damage just yet. Yes, he does! Now with the triple kill, and Tavo won't be able to escape from this either. They need to be very careful, though. They need to watch themselves. Kara dies inside the Wukong Saman. Does have buyback if needed. Will immediately use it. Tao jumping, getting the drag back onto 40R. Kara looking for this jump onto Tavo. They find him. They got the kill. Timbersaur's gone. 40R needs to leave the base. Despite them getting this triple kill, a ton of damage from this PA. She did need to buy back for it. And at the end of the day, they did need to commit the megas for that kind of flight. They hold the base, but none of the buildings that matter are still alive. Now it is going to be the really hard hold. And now still looking for this Divine Rapier, but it's going to be a while before it arrives. A lot less farm available on the map for this PA at the moment. And Wolf Team, they might just go again when they have the time for this, or they might just wait and take it easy for later. Either way, they're in such a commanding position here, Kips. They can smell game 3 coming. They just need to make sure they don't make any critical mistakes.
Yep. G-Pride does not have the greatest team to defend high ground versus all of these mega creeps. Dismar is going to do okay versus one wave, but you can already see Gen X struggling with that one. What?
Just a small
I did not
skirmish on
expect
top.
them to go for a fight.
Yeah, Wolf Team is just, you know, just doing their thing. They're just saying hello to Kara, revealing some spells from 40R. Just a quick kill. He doesn't have buyback though. That's a wait. Yeah, he doesn't have buyback. I just realized that that was a dieback. Oh god.
Yeah, that's dieback. That's why they go for it.
Without
Ooh, and a hex from the Invoker.
okay. They're coming for this game right now. They're going to go for this W. King RD finding the Founder Strike out onto Dismar down bottom. And they easily mop up the life of the Snapfire. That's also a dieback on Dismar. With no options
Now
left.
bought a basher.
Alright. Is this going to be 3 for 3 here, Kips? Where you buy the item
No,
that's
I
going
don't
to
think
save
so.
the
I
game?
don't believe anymore.
Let's see if it's going to happen. The final fight, it might be. HFN triggers off the BKB to dodge the torrent, as well as the boat coming in. Now with Fan of Knives, jumping forward, can't find the target though. The bash not going to hit first time, and Genek eviscerated by the rest of the Wolf Team. They get the Hex out onto this PA. She's down for the count. No buyback for her. They chase down this Kunkka too for Tavo. And that's it. We're done. GG, well played is called. G-Pride lose game 2. We're going to a finale. And the Wolf Team, they do not allow themselves to just fold easily. They will not go gently into the night. Kips, got a game 3. HFN, last pick, Gyrocopter did it. They made it happen. And despite the matchup getting good for the PA, it wasn't good at the start. HFN just got off to too strong of a mid game. Too much damage came out too early, and the Gyrocopter, how much damage did he even deal in this game? Let's just take a quick look. Wow, that's a fairly big number from HFN. Okay, 30,000 hero damage. When there's a PA in the game and PA is dealing less damage than you feel pretty good about yourself as a Gyrocopter, right?
Yeah, but he did not deal any more than Tavo. And that, for me, is the story of this game. I was so focused on the carry matchup that I kind of glossed over the fact that this was still a really good Timbersaw game, as we saw demonstrated time and time again, even until the late game. This guy was an absolute nightmare to deal with because, yeah you have 4 strength heroes.
I mean,
And one that relies on minus armor to deal the damage. It's incredible. It is, and Tavo played to his heart's content. And I think this was a very our way kind of way of winning this game, where it's very much people on their favorite heroes. I think these are signatures for pretty much every single one of them, except maybe for Duster here. And they just did it literally their way.
Yep, definitely their way was the winning way. And now they've secured themselves game number 2. One more game to go. One more game to potentially keep their hopes of getting to Division 1 alive. It is not easy to make sure that you get the rest of the 5 wins, but it is a necessity if they want to be able to make that happen. G-Pride, of course, they still have a little bit of leeway. Only 1 loss copped at this point for themselves, and they're looking for their second win. But if they don't come well in game 3, if they don't really perform, if they don't show us the same spirit that they had and the same drafting prowess of game 1, then they themselves are also starting to look in a more precarious position. We'll see whether or not they're going to be able to come back, or if the Wolf team, our way, will keep this momentum train going and to snag a victory here to go into Division 1. So with that, game 2 done and dusted in the books, game 3 coming soon. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more incredible Dota 2 action here in the lower division, South American DPC. We'll be right back.